What's up, gamers? I'm your host, Cobra, and on today's episode of the Freeroll, we're breaking down Earthen Paragons. As we jump into the Paragons themselves, it's important to remember what the Earthen Parallel is all about. These are the humans that never left the Earth, and therefore they all have an of the Earth-based title. They tend to be more peace-focused than warring, and they typically are taking advantage of pacifist, decay, and defender abilities. The very first one is Gaffar, Arbiter of Earth. Gaffar is relatively simple to play. He is a 0/8 unit that costs only 4 energy. His passive ability reads, after a unit gains pacifist, friendly units gain +1/+1. He has pacifist and defender himself right out of the gate, and his active ability reads, after Gaffar defends, the attacker gains pacifist. So he does a few things for you. Number one, you're going to want to stack lots of pacifist-related cards in your Gaffar deck because that is going to buff all your friendly units every time that a unit gains pacifist. That's true whether it is your opponent's unit or your own. Then once you've played Gaffar, he's going to be able to defend usually a bunch of times because 8 health is quite a bit. And each time he does it, he turns the attacker into a pacifist, thus boosting your own units and essentially nullifying your opponents. Next up is Shoshanna, Rebuilder of Earth. And she is also relatively straightforward to play. She is a 10 energy, 12/10 unit, which is beefy. But even more than that, she comes with a wicked set of abilities. Her passive reads, your maximum and starting health are 40. Now typically you start with 30, so this is a big boost. And her muster ability is set your health to 30. So essentially the goal with the Shoshanna deck is you want to delay the game until you can play Shoshanna. There are a few ways to boost up your energy, so it doesn't necessarily have to take 10 turns to be able to summon her. You can theoretically do that on turn 7 or 8, potentially if you draw well. But you're just looking to last long enough to actually summon her, because once you do, your health gets reset to 30, and you're going to have at least a 12/10 unit on the board. Likely you've got a bunch of other stuff as well, because lots of game will have happened, and at that point you should be in great control to win the game. And finally, we have my favorite Earthen Paragon, Nehemiah, Defender of Earth. Nehemiah is a 4 energy 0/7 unit with defender, but she's got some really interesting abilities. Her passive reads, after the first friendly unit with defender is destroyed each turn, target friendly unit gains defender. So that essentially means that the defender keyword becomes a lot like an upgrade in an Augencore deck. Remember, Augencore uses the keyword salvage to be able to reapply upgrades to new units as they die. When you have Nehemiah, Defender of Earth, as your Paragon, then defender keywords treated basically the same way. When your unit with defender dies, you get to give defender to a target friendly unit. So this means that your board is going to always be loaded with lots and lots of defenders, which is great and plays into her active ability, which reads, friendly units with defender deal damage equal to their current health instead of attack. Now this is really powerful. It essentially means when you play Nehemiah, you flip the script on your opponent. Earthen units typically are going to have lots and lots of health but low attack. So when she's on the field, all of a sudden those low attack units are dealing damage equal to their health instead, which typically means a boost of a lot of damage. So you play her, you start attacking, and you're going to be looking to finish the game relatively quickly once she's on the board.